It's spooky season, so what are you watching this month?
Welcome back, sir. All systems for gaming will be prepared in a few minutes. For now, feel free to grab a cup of coffee and have a good day.
Hey everyone, Mike here. Welcome back to the Marvel Man Cave. And I thought I'd do something a little bit different this month rather than wait until the end of the month to show the stuff that I picked up. I thought I would go ahead and show just the horror movies. And, well, maybe not they're all horror movies, but we'll say spooky season movies that I picked up this month, which ones I've been watching, and maybe get some recommendations for the remainder of the month because I'm sitting here, it's mid-October, and I've been trying to add to my spooky season collection that I've picked up thus far. And I'll start with one of the newer ones. I picked up End of Days with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Do you consider this a spooky season movie? It deals with the devil. It came out at Christmas time, though, so I've never really associated this movie with Halloween, but it's demons and devils. It feels like the perfect time of year to watch this movie. What do you think? So last week I went to one of my favorite stores, Disc Replay, here in Illinois, and picked up a few movies from there that I qualify as spooky season movies. One was Gremlins 2, the new batch. This was actually sitting on the employees pick for Halloween movies, so I immediately grabbed this because I have the original Gremlins. But then I picked up two other ones. One, I picked up Pan's Labyrinth. Again, I don't know if do you consider this a spooky season or Halloween movie. This is one of my favorite Guillermo del Toro movies. I think it's creepy. Nazis are creepy enough. Then you got all whole Guillermo and the characters and stuff. The stuff that comes out of his mind is amazing. I love this movie. It's fantastic. And then a little bit of a nostalgia pick. I picked up Little Monsters with Fred Savage and Howie Mandel. I'm going to be totally honest. I have not seen this movie probably in 30 years, maybe less than that. That sounds like a really long time when you get this old. But I remember loving this movie as a kid, and I was walking around. I saw it on the shelf for like $5. I'm like, how often am I going to see this movie? I was looking for stuff to kind of beef up my horror spooky season collection and went ahead and picked this up. So the reason I was kind of doing some of this is my wife and I have decided to do, I would say, like scary movie Saturday. So every Saturday when we rotate, kind of like we do our Disney movie night on Sundays, every Saturday we've been picking a different horror movie or scary movie that one of us has to watch for the other. And we started doing it a little bit last year, but it was more like just a movie night. So I would pick it, she would pick a couple, like a movie or two. And so we'd rotate picks and go like that. But this year we realized we were starting to pick movies that were harder to find. Like, we lucked out because we one of the movies she actually picked, which I have here now, is I ended up picking up Sleepy Hollow on 4K. But we watched this a few weeks ago, so this is one of my wife's favorite movies. She wanted to watch it. We watch it almost every year, but this year it wasn't available on streaming anywhere except for Canopy, which I actually have access to. I think it's Canopy or Hoopla. It's one of the ones that we get through our library, and I think it's Canopy. But it was only available there, and so we were able to sit down and watch it. But as soon as that happened, I immediately went on and found this and got this. I think I got it off eBay for a pretty decent price because we literally watch this every year. And it was just annoying to kind of go on and be like, am I really not going to be able to find this for streaming? So I just wanted to own it. Went ahead and picked this one up. But then that was kind of the onus of some of that because this kind of kicked off, I would say, spooky season for us. And I realized, like, even my wife last week, she was starting to name movies like Poltergeist, Exorcist, Psycho, things like that. And I was like, you know what? I don't own any of these, and I don't know if they're streaming. Luckily, Poltergeist and Psycho were both on HBO, which we already have subscription to through my internet provider. But it was just one of those things. I'm like, you know, it's better to have these movies because we don't want to run into something where they're on HBO now, but next year you're going to have it on, you know, maybe Hoopla, which I don't have access to. So it's just better to have them. That way I don't have to worry about this stuff anymore. But speaking of my wife and some of her favorite movies, we watch The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad every year. She loves the Headless Horseman story. We always watch this, and this is one of those. We do have Disney Plus, but it was one of those where, like, you know what? I'd rather just own it. That way we don't have to worry about it. There's no concerns. So I went ahead and picked this up. Actually, pretty cheap, too. It wasn't too hard to find online. Again, going the eBay route for this one. And then a couple of the Arrow releases, but one I got is Spawn, which again, do you consider this a spooky season movie? I think I could watch this any time of year. I love this movie. I watched this bunch when I used to have it on DVD. Have not seen it for a few years. Been waiting to get the Marvel Man Cave back up and running so I could sit down and watch this back on the OLED TV and everything around my surround sound system and really give it a good, honest watch. So looking forward to digging into this one. But then I picked up the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the remake, which I think is 2002. I'm sure someone will correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below. But I picked this one up through Hamilton Books. I got it for about like $25 through Hamilton Books. It's the 4K of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and we watched this a few nights ago, and gave my wife nightmares. And it was exactly what I remembered it being when I saw it. I remember seeing this in theater and really enjoying it, and it was just one I was in the mood to watch. I know it's probably sacrilege. I kind of like this one a little bit more than I like the original movie, but we watched this one, and I'm going to go back and watch the original because it's been a long time since that one too, but decided to go ahead and pick this up and found it for a good price. Again, it was used, but a lot of these movies are used, and I have no problem with that. Speaking of used movies and some other pickups that I did through Disc Replay, is I picked up one of my absolute favorites, Child's Play. You gotta love a good Chucky movie. Enough said. And then this is one that I've been looking at on Scream Factory for a while and was debating on whether or not I was going to pick up the 4K, but I picked up Shocker at Disc Replay for $9.99. This is one of those movies, the Wes Craven movie. I watched this a ton as a kid. I haven't seen it for a few years. This is another movie kind of like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I just been in the mood to watch, and I don't think it was streaming anywhere. And literally walked into the store the second time because I ended up Disc Replay twice this month, and then this was sitting in the employee picks. And I'm like, you know what? I've been looking for this movie. I was debating on whether or not to get it in 4K, but for $9.99 for the Blu-ray, I was like, you know what? That's good enough for me. Now we're going into some more newer ones. I went through a bunch of the used ones that I got, but the other day, just the other day, I added Aliens. And again, do you think this is a spooky season movie? I always considered the original Alien a sci-fi horror movie. I'm not sure if I consider Aliens a horror movie, but I kind of all put them in that same general bucket, so it works for me. But I picked this one up. I think it was on Amazon. It went down on sale, or I needed to add something to my cart to get overnight shipping for something for my dog. But either way, ended up picking this up, and I have Alien Romulus on the way, and then I think that does it for my Alien collection. I don't have 3 or Resurrection. 3 I would get on 4K if I ever found it. Resurrection I have no interest in owning, but I have almost all the Alien movies in 4K, which was a goal of mine. I wanted to make sure I got them all. So added Aliens, which to me is one of the greatest sequels of all time. And then I added Doctor Sleep to my collection. I love The Shining, absolutely love The Shining. I remember seeing this. I thought this was a great rendition of the book. I love the book that this is off of as well. And I got to admit, I watched Life of Chuck, one of my favorite movies of the year. And when I went back and saw that Mike Flanagan also directed this, I was like, that probably explains a lot like why I like this movie. It has not been cracked open yet because it is a 3-hour long movie, and I've been busy with the Marvel Man Cave, so I haven't had the time. But I'm really looking forward to digging into this. I remember Rebecca Ferguson being absolutely fantastic in this. Ewan McGregor is great. I really enjoy this movie. And then I picked up the Haunted Mansion, the one that just came out a couple years ago. This one we actually own. The Haunted Mansion is my wife's favorite ride of all time. We have tons of Haunted Mansion stuff. Basically, our house becomes the Haunted Mansion every Halloween. And I bought her the Steelbook when it first came out. And then we realized, like, or I guess I realized, that Steelbook is kind of valuable now because it's out of print and it's really hard to find. I guess they didn't make that many. So I didn't kind of want to have her take it off her display shelf every year to watch it because I was afraid of her getting scratched up. So I was like, you know what? I can find just the general 4K. It did come with the slipcover, which you guys know I don't worry about keeping anyway. But I was able to find it with the slipcover, brand new, sealed, in 4K for about 20 bucks. And so I went ahead and got it. That way I can add it to the spooky season shelf. And I'm sure as we're sitting here on October 16th, as I'm filming this, I'm almost guaranteeing that this is going to be our next movie up because this is another one we watch every year. When we went to New Orleans last year, we found the spot where they filmed Lakeith Stanfield's character, the house where he was living. They built it for the movie, but there's an empty lot there. We actually took our picture. If I find that, I'll put that up here on the screen. But we took our picture in front of the empty lot where the house that he was living in New Orleans was. It was just a very fun kind of full circle moment for us. But she loves this movie. I think this movie's really good. It is very entertaining. I absolutely love it. And another movie that we watch every single year is A Nightmare Before Christmas. We actually just watched this past week. And again, wanted to watch this on 4K and just kind of be able to sit down and enjoy it. And it was another one. Yeah, we have Disney Plus and we could probably stream it. But more and more, I don't want to start counting on these streaming services for things like this. I don't think this is ever going to get removed, but then again, you never know. It's better to own it. I like having it here on the shelf and just being able to pick it off whenever I want. Do you consider this? Do you watch this in Halloween or do you watch it at Christmas? Because I guess it can apply to either. And then I think my first pickup, which was technically before October started, but Spirit of Halloween opened up around here and we were walking around and I was looking for some Nightmare on Elm Street stuff and realized like I don't own any of the Scream movies. So I picked up the original Trilogy Scream box set with Scream 1, 2, and 3. And then it comes with, I guess it has the Blu-ray that has all three, but then it has the original 3 Scream movies all in 4K. And again, this is another one I have been waiting for the Marvel Man Cave to get put back in order. And I have the TV up and I have the new 4K player installed and everything now. So really looking forward to kind of really sitting down and digging into some of these because it's been a while since I've seen the original Scream, which I consider a classic movie. And it is one of those like I really enjoy watching almost every year. It's hard to get to all the movies that I own in every Halloween because we don't really watch a movie every day. It's usually, if I'm lucky, I get to watch a movie probably like every like maybe 3 days out of the week or something like that. That's why we've instituted Scary Movie Saturday, because that way we can guarantee we're going to get to at least one, and then I usually try to watch at least one other one on my own every week. But these were my pickups for just the horror movies through the Halloween season. And I'm really curious for the movies that I mentioned, like End of Days, Gremlins, things like that, Pan's Labyrinth. Do you consider those Halloween movies? Do you consider them horror movies at all? So I was really glad to kind of start beefing up my horror movie collection. I'll admit, Halloween is an enjoyable holiday for me. It's my wife's favorite holiday, but I really get into Christmas a lot more. And I've actually already started buying some Christmas movies, which I've come across. I know, I know. You don't even have to say it. It's bad enough that Target and every place already has their Christmas stuff up. Even me, that's too much. But I have already purchased a couple Christmas movies in the past few weeks because why not? Getting ready for the Christmas season where it's really my jam. Wanted to make sure I had some horror movies to kind of dig into and kind of just beef up the collection because I really just kind of had the same few that I had before and was like, oh, I enjoy watching these, but I would like to add a few more in the rotation. Variety is a spice of life and that whole thing. But let me know, what is your favorite Halloween or horror movie that you like to watch every October? Give me some ideas in the comments below. Hopefully I can get to watch a few of them. But I hope everybody's having a wonderful day. And don't forget, collect what you love.